The screen is in the right direction. A premiere. Oh my goodness. Is someone here? Hello, hello. Ooh, 2 people in the house. Hello, hello. Welcome to this very spontaneous live. I'm hoping that you have brought some junk journal tags, perhaps some plain tags, and perhaps some creative energy to do something together here today. Hi, Jen. Hello, hello. I'm waiting until a little, some more people come in here. Oh, 3 people. Now you are coming. That is really cool. Hallo, Tina. Das ist ja cool, dass auch ein paar deutsche Zuschauer heute hier sind. Das freut mich sehr. Herzlich willkommen. Susanne, hallo. Hi, Femke. Nancy, hello. I'm really happy that this worked because if you know me, you know that I always have some problems with YouTube Lives and the direction of my phone, but today it worked with the first try. I'm really, really happy. Hello, hello. I want to try something today, and that is a little bit risky, but there's this one person who brought me to this idea to do this live. I will not name the person, but you know who you are. Das, was ich hier heute machen will, ist ein bisschen riskant, weil live und so, ne? Aber es gab da diese eine Person, die zu mir gesagt hat, ah, das könntest du doch eigentlich mal live machen. Ich sage jetzt mal keinen Namen, aber diese Person weiß, wer sie ist. Die Person ist offensichtlich noch nicht hier. Vielleicht ist das ganz gut. So, do you all have perhaps some plain junk journal tags or cards or something else? Nunu! Nunu is in the house. Hi, Nunu. So if you have some junk journal tags, or obviously a piece of paper would also work, or some cards or so, then take them out now, because then you can craft along with me here. I think that could be really, really fun, what I want to do. Perhaps you have seen my Instagram reels I have posted recently about this tag here. And yes, it is a tag, but it's attached to this piece of paper because I've created it directly on here. That has a reason. I want to do something with this in the future. That's why the tag is on the paper here, but you can, of course, obviously also use a loose tag. And everything started with this here. This is what I did before this one here, but with the same idea. And today I want to try to make some more of these tags because it's just so much fun, but together with you. So, Nunu, yeah, perhaps. I mean, we will see how long I will laugh. Yeah, perhaps it will stop in a few minutes. Depending on how this will turn out, this little experiment hier. Ihr Lieben, ich versuche das mal nochmal gerade hier auf Deutsch zu sagen. Was ich heute machen möchte, ist Folgendes. Ihr habt vielleicht meine Instagram-Reels gesehen. Das hier über diesen Tag habe ich heute gepostet. Und dieses hier, wenn mich nicht alles täuscht, gestern oder vorgestern, ich habe keine Ahnung mehr. Jedenfalls habt ihr das ziemlich cool gefunden und ihr habt mir auch schon einige Vorschläge gemacht über Farbkombinationen, die man hier verwenden könnte. Und heute möchte ich das hier gemeinsam mit euch machen. Das hier ist, wie ihr seht, auf diesem Stück Papier hier drauf. Das hat einen Sinn, weil ich will was mit diesem Papier in der Zukunft auch noch machen. Also mit diesem Stück, wo der Tag schon drauf ist. Deswegen klebt das da drauf. Aber ihr könnt natürlich auch einfach einen losen Tag nehmen und den dafür verwenden. Das geht natürlich genauso. Also, ne, das muss jetzt nicht auf so einem Stück Papier sein, aber nur, dass ihr Bescheid wisst, warum das hier dran klebt. Genauso dieser hier, damit habe ich noch was vor. Aber es empfiehlt sich durchaus, eine Unterlage zu haben, wo es drauf spritzen kann. Also, wisst ihr. Nunu, what do we need? I want to craft along. Yeah, so what do we need? We need a tag or something similar, like a piece of paper, a card base or whatever you like. Nunu hat gerade gefragt, was ihr braucht. Also wir brauchen einen Tag oder mehrere. Also ich werde definitiv hier heute mehrere machen. Ihr könnt aber auch genauso gut eine Karte oder irgendwas anderes nehmen, einfach ein Stück Papier, das geht natürlich auch, aber nehmt was, was ein bisschen fester ist und nicht so schlummelig. No matter what you use, it would be really good if you have something which is a little bit more sturdy, not such a flimsy kind of shitty paper, you know. What I'm using here are the distress tags by Ranger and Tim Holtz. These are made from the you know, here it says what it is, Louise. Mixed media heavy stock. That would be, I would say, really good because this paper can handle a lot of water. Falls ihr diese Tags hier habt, nehmt die, weil die sind ganz gut, weil die nämlich ziemlich viel Wasser aushalten. Also, ne, wir machen ein bisschen hier Wasser und Farbe und so drauf. Deswegen ist das ganz gutes Papier dafür. Dann empfiehlt es sich, eine Unterlage zu haben, wo wir das Ganze drauflegen können. I'm going to use another piece of paper just to make sure that not everything flies through my whole room here, but that is not necessary. If you have a glass mat or something else where you can put the tag on, you can also do that and then clean the mat, yeah? For what do we have this? But I want to do it here. And what I also will do is I will put a little bit of glue here to glue this to the paper so that this can't move, but this I only do because I want to do something with the paper in combination with the tag later. That is not really necessary. You can also have the tag loose. Ich klebe mir diesen Tag jetzt hier fest, einfach mit so einer Klebemaus, weil ich später etwas mit diesem Papier machen will, wo der Tag dann so drauf ist, in dieser Position. Aber das ist nicht unbedingt notwendig. Du kannst auch einfach den Tag lose auf deinen Tisch legen. Wenn du da so eine Glasmatte oder irgendwas anderes Abwischbares hast, dann tust du das einfach da drauf. Also ne, für was haben wir die Matte? Kannst du ja abwischen. So. Then I want to start with a color combination. One of you has suggested on the reel on Instagram. The suggestion came by Honey Loves Paper. Honey, I don't know if you are here. Probably you are in the garden or in your new Gewächshaus. Wie heißt das auf Englisch? Keine Ahnung. Die erste Farbkombination, die ich machen möchte, ist vorgeschlagen worden von der lieben Honey. Honey Loves Paper auf Instagram. Ich weiß nicht, ob die gerade hier ist. Ich glaube nicht. Also zumindest hat sie sich da noch nicht geäußert. Oder vielleicht springt die auch in ihrem neuen Gewächshaus rum. Das könnte auch durchaus möglich sein. She suggested... Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry. She suggested pink / rosé, green and brown. And I thought that is a challenge for me. So I want to start with that. So what you will need is some liquid medium. It doesn't necessarily need to be the distress sprays or oxide sprays. You can also use some acrylic paint mixed with water or whatever you might have. You can even use watercolor or yeah, whatever you have, which is like a liquid medium. Ihr braucht, wenn ihr hier mitmachen wollt, irgendetwas Flüssiges, was eine Farbe hat. Also ja, das muss nicht unbedingt jetzt das sein, was ich hier verwende. Das müssen nicht die Spray Stains oder Oxide Sprays sein. Ihr könnt auch theoretisch Wasserfarbe nehmen oder Acrylfarbe mit bisschen Wasser vermischt. Egal, was es ist. Hauptsache, das ist flüssig. Ja, könnt ihr alles nehmen, was ihr da habt. And then we need something to smash the color to the tag. And I have these little sponges here. Someone has already asked me on Instagram what I used for that, because in the reel it was not so obvious because my hand in the video was like this, and that was just because of the camera angle, but I use these little daubers here. What you also could use is, I don't have one here at the moment. Wait, I will quickly run away and pick one from my shelf. You could also use something like this. Perhaps you know these. These are retired, but perhaps you have some of these or something similar which has a felt top or so here, which has this little applicator, then you could use something like that as well, which you can hammer to the paper. You could also take a piece of paper, like a little circle or so, and then apply the color there and smash with a hammer or with your hand. That would also work. Was brauchen wir da noch? Wir brauchen irgendwas, womit wir die Farbe hier raufknallen können. Ich habe jetzt hier diese kleinen Fingerschwämmchen. Falls ihr die habt, eignen die sich sehr gut, weil die ziemlich viel Flüssigkeit hier oben aufnehmen können. Oder was man auch natürlich nehmen kann, sind diese Dinger hier, fällt mir gerade ein. Das geht selbstverständlich auch. Die sind ja von der Konstruktion her nahezu gleich. Oder vielleicht habt ihr auch diese Teile, wo dieses Filzding hier oben dran ist. Dann könntet ihr das auch verwenden. Ist natürlich gut, ist schon Farbe drin, ne? Oder ihr könnt auch euch einen kleinen Kreis aus Papier oder so machen und die Farbe da drauf machen oder mit dem Hammer draufschlagen oder mit eurer Hand. Das geht auch. Ja, Nunu, I really love my hammer. I can't live without my hammer. And then we also need for our first step, because this whole stuff works in, I would say, 3 or 4 steps. Regarding to what you want to do, we need a color to scribble. So we need something like a pen, a ballpoint pen would work, a Posca pen, edding, whatever you might have. Dann brauchen wir noch etwas zum Kritzeln und ich überlege jetzt gerade, welche Farbe ich dann nehmen könnte. Das kann sein ein Edding, das kann sein ein Posca pen, ein Fineliner oder irgendwas, Kugelschreiber geht auch. I think gold would look really cool here. Oder eine Crayon könntet ihr auch nehmen. Instead of something like a pen, you could also use a crayon or so. That would also work really well. I will probably, if I don't forget that, remind me please, do that later, because the crayons have a really cool feature, which I haven't had in my forehead so well before I did it. But perhaps we can try that as well. Femke. Oh my goodness, now I can't see the... Oh, sorry. Here's an ad at the moment. I'm sorry, Femke. I couldn't read your comment, but I'm back. Wait, no pink, green, or brown pen. Do you think we should use a color already for the pens? Yeah, we could try that. Let me see. Then we can do the crayon effect as well. So I have saltwater taffy and crushed olive and walnut stain. Give me a second, please. Okay. Femke, your wish is my command. No, of course, I don't hate you, Femke. That is really good that you make suggestions. I mean, why am I doing this here? I am doing this here that I'm not so alone and that I don't need to do it alone. Yeah, that's why I went live and wanted to do this together with you. But I'm just realizing that my other phone is not charging. That is not so cool. I'm so sorry. Okay, now I think I fixed the problem, because I read the comments, your comments on my other phone, and I just realized that it nearly died. Femke hat gerade vorgeschlagen, anstatt Gold könnten wir ja auch die Farben nehmen, die wir hier ausgewählt haben. Ich habe jetzt Saltwater Taffy und Peeled Paint in Ermangelung an Crushed Olive, weil ich habe die Crushed Olive Crayon nicht. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob die überhaupt existiert. Aber was ich habe, ist Crushed Olive Watercolor Pencil. So I took Saltwater Taffy, Peeled Paint and Crushed Olive, the crayons and the watercolor pencil. I don't have Crushed Olive crayon. I don't even know if that is existing, but let's try that. So we are going to take our pens or crayons or whatever you might have first. Then I like to put them to my table here like so that they both touch the surface. And then we can scribble here. And that you can do basically like you want. That doesn't necessarily need to follow a special plan, just like this. Oh my goodness. And now my freak wants to freak. When you do that, if you do that with the crayons, I like to do it like this so that the other color is not on the crayon anymore, on the tip here, because, yeah, obviously when you scribble here, then it mixes a little bit. But that is no problem. You can just clean it like this. Greetings from Louisiana. Oh my goodness. Hi. Kelly. Yeah, I'm not so often live, so this is a really rare event, I would say. Shall we take the crushed olive watercolor pencil as well? I think that would make sense, but what I want to do for that is I want to dip that in water so that we get some liquid here already on the thing, on the tag. Ihr könnt jetzt da so rumkritzeln, wie ihr wollt. Es schaut dann hier aus wie so eine ganz wilde Unterschrift von irgendeiner ganz berühmten Person. Ihr könnt das als Kreis machen, ihr könnt da Striche machen, ihr könnt was auch immer ihr wollt machen. Das muss natürlich auch nicht in dieser Farbkombination sein. Tut, was ihr wollt. Ich habe diesen Watercolor-Pencil jetzt hier mal ins Wasser getan. Das kann man ganz einfach machen, ohne dass das Wasser sich, wer weiß wie, einfärbt, weil dann löst sich das Pigment hier und dann, wenn ich jetzt kritzle, erhoffe ich mir, dass ich hier ein bisschen cooleren Effekt kriege, als würde ich das trocken machen, aber trocken ginge natürlich auch. I've dipped the pencil into my water here. You can see the water is still clear because these watercolor pencils are made for dipping them in water, and then the pigment gets here to the tip, you know, then it's wet, and you can then scribble perhaps a little easier with it on this. And with easier, I mean that I want to get a nice additional effect here. You could do this dry as well, but I think it looks better when this is wet. Your scribble looks a little like a flamingo. Ah, I see it. Oh my goodness, here's the head, here's the body, and here are the legs. Oh yes, it looks, das sieht wirklich aus bisschen wie ein Flamingo. Okay, so then let's give him a little bit of something. What shall we do? I want to do this really randomly. Ich will das hier so voll ohne Nachdenken machen und so vollkommen wild. That looks really weird. And to don't waste this, we can also perhaps do it like this. Ich will das hier nicht verschwenden, was hier vorne sich angelöst hat an dem. Deswegen mache ich das so. Wenn dieses angelöste Pigment da ab ist. Do something like this and you roll the pencil over the paper and you get rid of this pigment which is wet and, you know, I don't know the word. It dries then on the pen here, on the pencil easier because, yeah, when this is not here anymore, then it can dry easier, and then I like to do it like this, but only to get it a little bit dry, and all of this here is not wasted when I put it on here. Flamingo in jail, yeah. It looks really a little bit like that. Okay, but can we perhaps add a little bit of gold as well? Ich glaube, ich möchte hier noch ein bisschen Gold trotzdem drauf machen. Das hier ist so ein goldener Edding. This is just a golden edding. Oh, Arizona in the house. That is... Ooh, my goodness. What happened here? Oh no. Did I just ruin my pen? How could that happen? Oh my goodness. I was probably a little bit too aggressive. You are confused and stressed, Nunu. Why? Why are you confused? Well, let me take the stress away from you, okay? Oh my goodness. Right. Please only do something like this smashing with a pen which can handle that. This pen is normally meant to, you can do it like this, and then the tip goes in and out, and because of that, the ink comes out here. Or I don't know, this is probably not ink, it's called different, but the stuff which is in here. Don't do that with a normal pen, yeah, that would be not so good. Einige hatten mich auf Instagram gefragt, ob dieser Stift hier das aushalten kann. Ja, kann er, solange der so eine Pumpspitze hat. Mach das bitte nicht mit einem normalen Stift, weil, ne, das würde nicht funktionieren. Also es würde schon funktionieren, aber nur einmal, danach ist euer Stift kaputt. Aber solange ihr so einen Stift habt, der so eine Pumpspitze hat, ist das überhaupt gar kein Problem. I wanna put a little bit of this gold here and there, because this here then acts like a resist when I add the other things, and the crayon, interestingly, as well. That is something I learned today. So let's see what we can do with that information. And now my whole room and I am gold, but that is okay. That poor Posca, yeah, Nunu, with the Posca pen, nothing happens. I mean, this is an adding, but also with the Posca pen, you could easily do that, because what shall happen? This here is also meant to do like so, and then the stuff comes out. I mean, perhaps in the video and on your speakers, it might sound a little heavier than it is in reality. I think that could be something you want to have in mind, because when I smash here to the table, I smash to my glass mat, and that might be way louder for you than it is for me. Es könnte sein, dass dieses, was ich hier gerade mache, für euch wesentlich lauter sich anhört, als es in Wirklichkeit ist. Und dadurch hört sich das vielleicht so an, als würdet ihr euch eure Stifte kaputt machen. Das ist aber nicht so. Da passiert rein überhaupt mal gar nichts. Ja? Außerdem ist das hier Glas, und wenn ich da drauf haue, dann ist das natürlich automatisch ein bisschen lauter, als es vielleicht wäre. The crayon underneath won't clog the paint pen. Oh, Femke, that is a really good question. The crayon underneath won't clog the paint pen. I don't think so, but that is a good question. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. But I think with this, yeah, well, it touches it for a few seconds, doesn't it? I mean, I would say this is a tool in my craft room, and if that would happen, yeah, then I would have to spend €3 or so for such a pen. But if you are unsure, then just do it there where not the crayon is, okay? Oh, Honey is in the house. Honey, look, here is your color suggestion. I'm just doing your color combination. You have suggested on Dingsbums here. Yeah, it's that. Instagram. So the person who is responsible for this thing is in the house. So if this will turn out like a disaster, then please, message Honey Loves Paper. So let's take some saltwater taffy. Also wenn jetzt hier irgendwas ganz schlimm läuft, ne, dann beschwert euch bitte bei Honey, weil die hat das schließlich hier vorgeschlagen. Diese Farbkombination. Wir spritzen uns hier ein bisschen, also ne, so eine kleine Pfütze da so hin, auf den Tisch oder irgendwo hin. Und nehmen hier das Ding und lassen das komplett, also so viel wie es aufsaugen kann, aufsaugen. So I have just spritzed the saltwater taffy oxide spray to my mat here, and now I'm going to take my finger sponge here, and I'm letting the sponge soak this stuff. You can see the puddle gets less here because it's in the sponge. That takes a few seconds, and then it's in here, and you can then use it for smashing it on here. Yeah, honey. Now, still not so not so wonderful yet, I would say. But let's see. Wo soll man das jetzt hier mal hinhämmern? Wir denken nicht nach, sondern wir machen das einfach. Oh yes. It does exactly the same thing like on my tag I did today. Here you can't see it so well anymore, but in the video on Instagram, you can see that the crayon has built a resist. And look, now we have this little circle there in the middle where no spray is. And I really like that. Entschuldigung, die Crayon hat offensichtlich da ein Resist gebildet. Mir ist das heute Morgen aufgefallen bei dem Tag, wo ich auf Instagram gepostet habe. Den habe ich heute Morgen gemacht und dann gepostet. Da ist das auch passiert, obwohl ihr das hier nicht mehr sehen könnt, weil da so viel drüber gekommen ist. Aber in dem Video könnt ihr das sehen. Da haben sich auch die Kreise so gebildet, dass das hier in der Mitte einfach leer geblieben ist. Und das finde ich persönlich sehr cool. Oh, that's a little bit small. Shall we perhaps add a little bit of the spray stain of the same color? This is also saltwater taffy. Yes, Femke, the colored crayon was a pretty good idea, because then I can already show you this. Oh, but look, the mixture of that is interesting. The mixture of the spray stain and the oxide spray doesn't do that, but perhaps it's also because it's just too much of the medium on the thing. That could also be. So I just found that out with the resist in the morning. I haven't played around with this kind of technique or phenomenon, or how shall I call that? I need to do some experiments with that and try out if that is only for the oxide sprays or perhaps also for the spray stains. I have no idea. So when we have that, we can take either a straw and breathe through it, or something like this. Or you could also just leave it like it is, or move the paper around, or whatever, to bring this around a little bit. And you can see the golden edding also is a resist now. Can I lift this up so that you can see it? Can you see there where the gold is? It's like a resist. Da, wo jetzt das Gold ist von dem Edding, ist es auch so wie so ein Resist. Das finde ich total cool, weil das Gold dann immer wieder nach oben kommt. Das finde ich richtig genial. Und jetzt, mein Gott, nochmal. Entschuldigung für diesen Ausdruck. Also ein bisschen Schweinerei ist das schon, aber das macht ja nichts, oder? Und seht ihr, da zieht sich das weg, wo die Crayon ist. Und das finde ich irgendwie total interessant, dass es das tut. Boah, und das ist auch eine coole Mischung. Here the watercolor pencil and the saltwater taffy. That was not a good sentence. I'm so sorry. What color was that? Crushed olive from the watercolor pencil and the saltwater taffy spray. They mix here, and that looks also really, really interesting. So now I'm going to dry this, because I want to layer this, and if I wouldn't dry it in between, then that would not work. If you have any questions, please feel free to just throw them into the chat, okay? Falls ihr irgendwelche Fragen habt, scheut euch bitte nicht, das in den Chat zu schreiben. Ich werde das jetzt zwischendurch trocknen, damit ich das layern kann, weil, ne, wenn ich das jetzt nicht trocknen würde und ich würde da eine andere Farbe drauf machen von dem Spray und nochmal draufhauen, dann würde es sich vermischen. Und dann nehmen wir gerade von dem Gold vorsichtig dieses hier wieder runter. Das Rosa. So I'm carefully trying to get the saltwater taffy off from the gold, and I'm not so sure what's happening here at the moment, but that is a little bit weird. I think it's because it's warm, but let's see. That looks a little bit weird. Something is happening with the gold here, but that doesn't matter. It's just the background. You are all so quiet. What happened? Are you all crafting along or what happened? So then let's go on with some crushed olive oxide spray. Or shall we first stamp a little bit to this? That could also look good. Let's just take some script stamp, and Honey wanted brown, so we are going to take some ground espresso archivaling. I'm going to take Letra Script CMS 241. Ich stempel mal gerade hier so ein bisschen rum, weil ich denke mir, das könnte vielleicht ganz cool aussehen, wenn das da noch so irgendwie im Hintergrund mit auftaucht. Und da Honey braun wollte, kriegt sie auch braun. Oh nein. Hands are covered in ink. Oh, that is good. That is good. Where do we place this? Let's perhaps just do it really randomly. Kim, you are amazed and speechless. Oh my goodness. Two things at the same time. So then it looks like this. And I already really like this. I mean, with this scribbling, it gets so loose and uncontrolled, but look how cool this is. I mean, no matter how I did this in the past, it always turned out really great. And yeah, how would you normally get something like this? I mean, if you would plan it, that would be perhaps a little bit difficult, wouldn't it? So, ja. Dann nehmen wir uns hier Crushed Olive Oxide Spray. So then I'm going to take the crushed olive spray. This is the oxide spray, and I do it exactly in the same way. It's also very important that you spritz to half of your hand. Just wondering if it resists all the crayon or only the green, but the spray is stuffy as well, so my mind is just acting ridiculous. Yeah, that is I'm not so sure if it's good when I say that, Femke, but yes, that's exactly what it is. So this is my sponge for fossilized amber, and I have, what is this? That could be the color. If not, it's close. I can clean this later. So what Femke said is she first thought that only the peeled paint crayon is a resist, but it's just an optical illusion because the second crayon was saltwater toffee, and that's why we don't see it here anymore, because the spray is also saltwater toffee. Oh, I really like that. I will quickly try to dry this because before it can move around or so. Das hier föhne ich jetzt direkt, weil mir das richtig gut gefällt, wie das hier oben in der Ecke aussieht, bevor das irgendwo hin sich bewegen kann oder so, föhne ich das, damit es diese Form behält. But you could of course also blow it around if it's not the shape you want, or if you don't like it, or if you want to blow it around, then please just do that. But if you dry it, then it holds the shape and it can't go anywhere. Oh, that was not enough. Make sure that you have enough of your medium in the sponge. You can also, if you want, add a little bit of water so that you can then save your mediums. If you think, oh, it's or if it's too intense or so, then you could do that as well. Das war jetzt gerade nicht genug von dem Spray an meinem Schwamm, deswegen habe ich da noch ein bisschen drauf gemacht und auch mit Wasser vermischt. Das könnt ihr natürlich auch machen. Allerdings sieht es dann häufig auch so aus. Also seht ihr den Unterschied hier? Und außerdem, das fliegt auch sehr weit dann. Ich finde das eigentlich besser, wenn man das Spray pur verwendet, weil dann fliegt das kontrollierter. Habt ihr jetzt gerade gesehen, wie das da geflogen ist? Das sieht irgendwie kontrollierter und schöner aus als das, wobei, schöner will ich gar nicht mal sagen, aber kontrollierter sieht das aus. Wenn man eher so organische, rundliche Formen haben möchte, macht es vielleicht Sinn, Wasser daran reinzumachen. Und wenn man das eher so spritzig haben will, macht es vielleicht eher Sinn, das pur zu verwenden. Aber ja, ist wohl auch Geschmackssache, ne? Falls ihr euch wundert, mir macht das jetzt überhaupt nichts. Im Gegenteil, dass das hier jetzt auf meinen Hintergrund fliegt. Ich habe noch was vor mit dem Papier und dem Tag genauso da drauf. Deshalb mache ich das so, dass ich auch was auf das Papier spritze. Aber das müsst ihr natürlich so nicht machen. Ihr könnt das auch auf dem Tag lassen, wenn ihr den Tag, also die Farbe auf dem Tag lassen, wenn ihr den Tag nicht auf ein Papier machen wollt, so wie ich das jetzt hier gemacht habe. Aber ich finde das ganz cool, wenn das jetzt hier so eine Umrandung kriegt. For some reason, the chat has disappeared. What the heck is happening here? Okay, you are back. Obviously, when you mix this with water, the shape you get from the smashing gets totally different than this. Have you seen that? Here it was more like a flower shape or so, and here it's like, you know, like a sun or so. I know the sun is round, but like a sun, like a child in the kindergarten would do it, would paint it. You know what I mean. And I have just blown it here to my paper because my plan is to later on use the paper with the tag on it for something else. And that is the reason why I did that and why I create something on my paper as well. If you don't want that, then just let the mediums, you know, blow them towards the center of your tag, or, you know, you could also put another tag next to it and then blow it to the next one to not waste the medium, I mean. But yeah, I just did it on purpose here because I have a plan. It doesn't look like I do have a plan, but I have a plan. Okay, so I will quickly clean this. And then we are going to dry this again. And the third color Honey wanted to have is brown. That sounds like a good plan. Oh, thank you. It is really much fun, yes. To just make sure that your table is has no important papers or so on it because it flies really far. Or what you also could, of course, do is take a little box or so and put your tag and your things in there so that it can't spritz to your walls or so, but it's really, really much fun. CK art, yes, the tag on the paper, that has a reason. I will not talk about that now because that's not the topic of this live, but I want to do something with the tag on the paper later. And for that, if you came later, perhaps you want to know that as well. I have glued the tag to this paper, so it's on here. I've just used one of these little glue thingies here so that it can't move and that the position of the tag is always the same. And I'm drying this now because I want to layer this, and for that it's necessary that we dry this in between, and that is really crazy because it's already so hot in here. We have 27 degrees here at the moment. But that is something I always do. I always do things like heat embossing or drying things with my heat tool while it's in the middle of the summer and it's already like, you know, crazily hot in here. Brown, honey. Honey wants brown, but okay, where and what? I have chosen walnut stain as the brown because I think that fits really, really well to saltwater taffy and crushed olive. But where do we want this now? Because I don't want to cover up what not everything, what I have here now. What is 27 in Fahrenheit? I have absolutely no idea. I would need to Google that, but it's, you know, a little bit hot, at least for my understanding and for using the heat tool. Shall we perhaps just... We could first think about a focal point we want to put on here and then decide where to smash the brown. Honey, are you still here? Yeah, please Google it. I have absolutely no idea what that is in Fahrenheit. Oh, thank you, Shana. You have Googled it. Honey is obviously already back in the garden, or where is she? I have some people here from my vintage photo strips. These you can find in my shop. This is a printable in my shop. And I also have some other things. I have some paper dolls. I have some flowers. I have everything here. Ich werde jetzt mal erstmal, glaube ich, überlegen, was für einen Fokuspunkt wir hier drauf schmeißen, bevor ich entscheide, wo ich das Braun hinschmettern will. Weil das könnte vielleicht... Ah, honey, you are still here. What do you want? I want to choose a focal point. I have people, I have flowers, I have birds, I have butterflies, and I have paper dolls. What do you want? Yeah, the flamingo was the background. That is correct. I'm waiting for Honey to decide. Ja, was für einen Fokuspunkt möchtest du, liebste Honey? Möchtest du hier so ein Persönchen? Willst du Blümchen? Willst du Schmetterlingis? Willst du eine Paperdoll? Was willst du? Ich möchte wissen, welchen Fokuspunkt du willst, damit ich weiß, wo ich das Braun hinschmeißen kann. The couple is wonderful. Are you talking about this couple here? It's already gotten to 110 here in Phoenix every day. Oh my goodness. That sounds pretty much hot, you know. Where are my scissors? So let's take them. And then let's see where this would make sense. I think we could perhaps put some flowers around, and perhaps even another piece of paper so that this doesn't look so naked, but we could give this like a little frame or so. Ooh, perhaps even something neutral like this. And this is has also a little bit of brown. Obviously, I don't want to cover up everything here. But perhaps like this. I think it would look really cool if the photo was sewn on this piece of paper. I will quickly run to my sewing machine and sew that on. I'm back in 20 seconds. That was probably more than 20 seconds. I'm so sorry. But I decided to not only sew around here on the photo itself, but also, you know, on the paper here a little bit, because then it looks even a little bit more interesting. Okay. So then, if we put this here and we want to add brown, and perhaps then we don't even need flowers. Well, let's see. Shall we do this now with the spray stain or with the oxide spray? That is a really good question. Thank you, Shauna. The spray stain is translucent, but we already have oxide spray here. Well, what can happen? Let's try the spray stain first, and if that will not show up enough, we can still use the oxide spray. That was between 30 and 40 seconds. Yeah, did you look to your watch? Did you stop the time? Oh my goodness. Es gibt ja Leute, die passen ganz genau auf, wie lange man weg ist. Okay, so I think, well, this stuff reacts really interesting on the paper here as well. I'm thinking if I want to smash it like so and then put this on top and then just the tiniest little bit comes out there, or if I want to smash it here, but then I risk that I ruin the photo. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it under this scrap. Here perhaps. Okay, that was not enough. Yeah, there. Why didn't this fly in the other direction? Warum ist das jetzt nicht in die, genau in die andere Richtung geflogen? Weil dann wäre das nämlich genauso, wie ich mir das gedacht hätte. Let's try it again. That's not so bad. Perhaps we can make it a little bit bigger. You counted. Oh. That is smart. Okay, I think that is good, but I want a third brown spot. I will quickly dry this so that I can see how it looks when it's dry. Yeah, Shauna, I think that was a good split. That's true. And I really like how this color comes out here now because of the other things underneath. That was why I was thinking if we shall use the spray stain or the oxide spray, but it really pops out and I like how it blends into the other colors somehow. Not visually, but color-wise, I mean. Now it would be really, really cool to have a little bit of that here. I mean, what we also could try is let's take this paper here. What is this? This is texture paste, and can this dry on here? Yes, I think so. I want to try something. Perhaps we can. Oh, Paulina, hi. She's following me wherever I go. That is so cute. Hi, Paulina. That is perfect. Let's try that. Oh, Londa, hi. Yeah, you are also now the really crazy stalkers are coming here. That is good. I'm just kidding, of course. I'm so sorry. But there are those people, and you know who you are, who are following me no matter where I go. And of course, I really appreciate that. But sometimes it's really funny because especially when I am in live streams of other people and then Tommy is also there, okay, number 3 of the stalkers in the house, and then sometimes it's like we are hopping from one channel to the other at the same time, and that is so funny. And obviously it's also cool that you are always here. I really appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. Es ist echt lustig. Also 3 von den Superstalkern, und damit will ich jetzt nicht sagen, dass es nicht noch mehr gibt, aber 3 von den richtig krassen Superstalkern, die haben jetzt gerade den Raum betreten. Das ist jetzt ein bisschen sehr lustig. Weil manchmal habe ich das Gefühl, wenn ich selber mir Lives von anderen Leuten angucke, dann verfolgt ihr mich dahin. Also das war jetzt neulich schon öfters mal so. Ich irgendwas anderes angeguckt habe und zack, Paulina da aufgekreuzt. Dann gehe ich irgendwo anders hin, 2 Stunden später, zack, Paulina auch da. Das ist sehr cool. Ach, boah, ich glaube, ich brauche mal jetzt langsam irgendwie so eine Linse für Probleme mit Sehen im Alter, weil, meine Güte nochmal, ich muss mir das inzwischen so weit weg vom Auge halten, dass ich überhaupt irgendwas sehe. Unglaublich. So I'm trying to cut this out along the, yeah, along the outline. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Am I here? Am I back? Hopefully. My phone just wanted to make an update, but I think I'm here. Okay. I have cut this out with a little outline because that way we can perhaps put it somewhere here. Thank you for the feedback, Nunu. It's not completely dry yet. That drives me crazy. I need to dry this. Das ist noch nicht ganz trocken. Lass es mal gerade kurz ganz föhnen, weil sonst kann ich das noch nicht vernünftig aufkleben. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. And you can say it in a stalkerish way because I love stalkers. Perhaps I shouldn't say that so often here. Otherwise I will get banned or so. But I mean, what is that? What is a stalker? A stalker can also be a nice person, I think. So let's see. If we would put this here. Yeah, the difference between stalker and supporter is not so big. It's not so big. I mean, at least in this community and in my for my understanding and my definition. I really like this. But I think before we can glue this down, we would need some brown splatters in the background, or even black. Let's take black. That makes more sense. Oh, Sandy, I'm sorry. That was really spontaneous. I had an experience because, and perhaps I can tell you that now, with 94 people here in the house, I had and that is also a reason for this idea. I mean, what I'm saying now is the initial thing which led to this idea, because I had my first viral reel on Instagram after I don't know how many years I'm there now. And that was something really, really special on the one hand, and something which is or was similar to this. And then I thought, if you like that, and if that goes viral, then let's make more of that. You know, because I thought if you like it, then I can make more and different variations. And that led to the problem that I didn't have a video for tonight, a regular video for my channel. And then I thought, why don't I do this stuff here live? And that's why this was so spontaneous. So if you want to share the live with your friends or someone where you think, oh, she wants to see this, or he wants to see this as well, then please feel free to share the live. Jemand hatte gerade geschrieben, das ist hier Zufall, dass sie mich hier entdeckt hat. Das hier war jetzt sehr spontan. Das ist eigentlich entstanden aus einer sehr krassen Sache, weil ich habe ein Reel auf Instagram hochgeladen, was innerhalb von wenigen Tagen viral gegangen ist. Und das ist im Übrigen mein erstes virales Reel. Nicht, dass es darauf ankäme, viral zu gehen, ja, bitte versteht mich nicht falsch. Aber, gibt ja immer so Meckernasen, ne? Ist ja gar nicht wichtig. Ne, ist es auch nicht. Aber für mich war das trotzdem was Besonderes, weil ich mir gedacht habe, das scheint ja offensichtlich Anklang zu finden. Was ich da getan habe in dem Reel, also die Idee. Und dann habe ich mir gedacht, also das hat dann dazu geführt, dass ich noch so ein Reel gemacht habe. Nämlich genau das, was ihr, also 2, um genau zu sein, das, was ich heute hochgeladen habe und das, was ich gestern hochgeladen habe. Und ich mir gedacht habe, wenn ihr das gut findet, dann mache ich doch noch ein paar mehr. Und das hat dann dazu geführt, dass ich kein Video für heute Abend hatte, also kein reguläres Video. Und dann habe ich mir eben gedacht, ja komm, kannst du das ja hier auch mal live machen. Und deswegen ist das so spontan. Also falls ihr irgendwelche Leute im Kopf habt, wo ihr denkt, ah, das könnte die interessieren, was ich hier tue, könnt ihr das live natürlich gerne teilen. I like it, aber ich bin auch zu spät. Ja, Heike, Entschuldigung. Entschuldigung. Das war sehr spontan. Was it the reel of you using candied apple red or the hammering splash? No. It was the one where I also made the longer video on YouTube for my Raggedy Turtle Bloom journal, where I scribbled to a tag where I had already rust water, and then I scribbled with black, and I had some wildflower die cuts on there. But if you go to my Instagram, then you can easily find it. Just click the Reels tab, and then on my profile, I mean, and then you can immediately see it. It's the one with the most clicks. And that's really, really amazing. I mean, for me, it's not important that I have viral reels, yeah, but obviously that is something special when you create content for social media, and then suddenly, like nearly overnight, there are so many people who have watched that. That is really a crazy feeling, because then you also know all of those people have seen that. It feels a bit crazy, but for me, it doesn't matter how many people see that. For me, matters that you are inspired and that you like this. And if you are only 5 people or 2 people here, then that is also, of course, great. Okay, so now I need a paper towel for my nose. Thank you, Sandy. That is very kind. Yeah, the Shrek reel is also really nice, even if it was not so extremely nice for me when it happened. So let's glue that there. Oh, shall we perhaps, before we glue this little thing here, think about a quote or so? The word love would make sense here. Do I have... Wait, give me a second. By coincidence, I have these here. Michelle, did you organize that it's well represented? Don't freak your freak. Yeah, that is very important. I have, by coincidence, these quotes here. These are from the Raggedy Turtle Bloom paper collection. and basically the lyrics of the song Raggedy Turtle Bloom. And I think I want the lighter color, but I don't know if I have the word love here. Oh, with you is even better. Do we have perhaps something which is even better? Because with you is also pretty short. Wild and bright, our love in tune. We will take something else, which is on here. I've changed my mind. We will take no storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. That is pretty long, but we can put it there by cutting it apart. You can find this in my shop as well. It's called Raggedy Turtle Bloom Ephemera Pack. And these are the lyrics of the song, which is the soundtrack for the paper collection, which I have written, and my dear friend Daniel Evans has performed it. And if you don't already know that, let me tell you that you also get the song with your download. So no matter if you take the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Ephemera Pack or the Junk Journal Pages or the Junk Journal Kit, the song is included in all of those items. So let's cut this cleverly. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made and from ruins. But then I can already glue this down, otherwise it will. Can you explain the title? I'm confused about whether it is a description or command. Sorry, Londa, the title of what? Of the song or of the live? Jenny says, can't wait for Tim's announcement Saturday. Any ideas what it is, Louise? No, Jenny, I have absolutely no idea. And even if I would have an idea, I hope it's understandable if I would know anything about that I then couldn't say it. But I don't know anything. It's a surprise for me as well. Londa, the title of the song is more a description slash how can I say that? That is a really interesting question, by the way. Well, let me think about that. Now, when I hear your question, I think it's both. That like a description and a command, because somehow a command can be something good as well, right? Like not a command, but like a reminder that we are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Hast du für die Spritzer wieder Blumen gehauen? Nein, Heike, diesmal nicht. Das habe ich hier mit so einem Ding hier gemacht. This is not visible enough. I want something. I want a piece of white paper. Let me quickly jump into my trash can and glue these down. Ja, perhaps an instruction, Londa, because I think sometimes we forget that we can bloom, and that we sometimes I have the feeling, especially when you have a lot of stress and you need to do things, you need to do your job, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're just moving forward, and like a machine, you are doing the things. And then sometimes it can happen that you feel like you haven't done anything in the day because it felt like the pure stress the whole day. But if you reflect and you look to the things you could reach at that day, then it's often more than you thought it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm so excited, and Saturday is so far away. Yeah, that is so true, Jenny. I'm really excited as well. I don't know what it is. Jenny, I can't answer that question yet about Defamorember this year. I need to talk to Barbara when she is back from her holiday. Jemand hat gerade gefragt, ob es dieses Jahr Defamorember gibt. Da kann ich euch noch nichts drüber sagen. Ich muss mit Barbara erst noch sprechen, wenn die aus dem Urlaub wieder da ist. Boah, ich brauche echt neue Linsen. I think I need new contact lenses, even if I got new lenses a while back. But I need to hold this so far away from my eyes that I can see it. It's incredible. And if I would have been clever, I could have cut this out with the white frame. I'm a little bit silly. Wenn ich jetzt schlau gewesen wäre, dann hätte ich das ja auch gleich... Ne, hätte ich nicht, weil dann wäre zwischen den Wörtern kein Weiß gewesen. Aber wurscht, ich hab's gleich. You're welcome, Londa. Yeah, the song is, to be honest, I will make a little, how do you say that in English? Schlenker to this song and the other paper collection, because for me, that was one of the most extreme experiences in a positive way I ever had with a paper collection / with junk journaling. I mean, when you make digital paper and you sit there in front of your computer with something in your brain which you want to get to paper, then it's really, really, really hard to do. Even if you can use tools like Photoshop or even an AI tool or so to create the imagery which you can then use to make your paper. But even with those technical tools, it's sometimes so hard to get to the paper what is in my brain. Because if you already know me, you know that I am a really visual crafter. I can close my eyes and I can see what I want to have on my paper. And with digital paper, it's really hard, because if it's not looking like I want it to look, then it drives me crazy. And I will sit there as long as it takes me, as it will take me, to bring to the paper what I want. And with the song, it was so incredible, because that is another sense, which is then active, because when you hear something and when you can listen to music which then tells the story about the paper, it's more weight which is coming to the collection. And that was for me really, really an extreme experience when I first heard Daniel singing the song. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, I was crying and laughing and everything at the same time. I had goosebumps all over my body. It was just incredible. And he did a really, really good job on that. So Let's try if this is more visible. Yeah, no storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. I think that fits really well here. And as you can see, these quotes I made for the Raggedy Turtle Bloom ephemera pack, they would fit other topics as well. Yeah, these are not necessarily turtle themed if you would use them, excuse me, like so. This chat on YouTube drives me crazy. There's a question and this little heart is directly over this so that I can't read it. Do you naturally distress without thinking, like those strips? No, not necessarily without thinking. Here I did that because this little frame was a little bit too wide and too wide for me. And that's why I did that, just to make the frame smaller, to be honest, not necessarily because I wanted to have it distressed, but it was too intense and too big. Dieses Ephemera Pack von dem Raggedy Turtle Bloom Papierset, wo diese Sprüche her sind, könnt ihr, wie ihr hier hoffentlich erkennen könnt, auch für andere Sachen benutzen. Das ist nicht notwendigerweise Schildkröten thematisch zwingend. Also wisst ihr, habe ich schon verstanden, oder? Entschuldigung, ist so anstrengend, Englisch und Deutsch abwechselnd zu sprechen. Das ist nicht so leicht für mich. Was ich sagen will, ist, diese Sprüche, die da drin sind der Text von dem Soundtrack von dem Raggedy Turtle Bloom Lied. Was? Das war jetzt kompletter Quatsch. Ihr habt das schon verstanden. Und das kann man natürlich auch benutzen für etwas, was nichts mit Schildkröten zu tun hat. Jetzt habe ich gedacht, das könnte vielleicht passen, aber das ist ja hier voll das Kackgrün. Nee. This is not the... I thought it would be, perhaps by coincidence, the right green, but it isn't. If this was really gold, then it would perhaps work. I first need to clean this. Ach so, und für alle deutschen Zuschauer, da möchte ich ganz kurz mal schnell was sagen. Falls ihr euch jetzt die ganze Zeit wundert, von was redet die Frau, was redet die da von irgendeinem Song oder Soundtrack oder irgendwas, mir ist da was aufgefallen. Danke an Elise Klatschmohn, die mich darauf hingewiesen hat, dass das so ist. Mir war das vorher überhaupt nicht bewusst. Und zwar, wenn ihr die automatische Übersetzung von YouTube anschaltet, bei einem normalen Video, dann übersetzt der automatisch das Lied auch in einen gesprochenen Text. Um genau zu sein, in einen gesprochenen Kacktext, der überhaupt gar keinen Sinn ergibt. Das heißt, wenn ihr euch jetzt denkt, Herr, was redet die, was ist das für ein Lied, schaut euch bitte die Papierpremiere an von dem Raggedy Turtle Bloom Set. Irgendetwas rennt vor meiner Tür herum. Könnte sein, dass wir jetzt gleich Besuch kriegen. Entschuldigt bitte. Da ist das Lied am Anfang komplett zu hören. Auch in meinen Instagram-Reels könnt ihr das komplett hören. Und wenn ihr das, wenn ihr merkt, bei den normalen Videos von dem Raggedy Turtle Bloom Journal, da kommt Musik, dann schaltet die automatische Übersetzung aus und dann hört ihr auch das Lied. Ansonsten übersetzt ihr euch das als gesprochenen Text. Das lässt sich leider nicht anders einstellen. That is very beautiful. And this is approximately how long it takes in real time to make something like this with all of the decisions and so on. And then you have a reel which is 17 seconds long in the end. That's crazy. Das jetzt hier so in etwa die Zeit, die man in echt braucht, um sowas zu, oder ich zumindest in echt brauche, um sowas zu machen. Und wenn ich das dann als Reel zusammengeschnitten habe, bleiben 17 Sekunden übrig. Ist auch geil, oder? Thank you, Sandy. That is very, very kind. Yeah, that would, of course, help a lot if you would give this video a thumbs up if you like it. That helps for the algorithm. Falls ihr das hier gut findest, dann freue ich mich natürlich sehr, wenn du einen Daumen hoch diesem Video gibst. Was den Algorithmus ein bisschen anpushen könnte. So. Ich würde mal sagen, das schaut doch gar nicht so übel aus, oder? Vielleicht machen wir noch hier einen Müh weißen Spritzer hin. Aber nicht überall. Also es würde auch nicht überall weiß bleiben, sondern nur auf dem Foto und dem... Ich will das nur so hier haben. Ja. It's probably Sharon. Hi, Sharon. So that's it. I think with these white splatters, the photo is a little bit more, yeah, embedded in the rest. What do we think about this? Is this good? Mit diesen weißen Spritzern ist das Foto ein bisschen mehr in den Hintergrund integriert. Ich finde das ein bisschen schöner, als wenn da keine Spritzer drauf sind. Jetzt muss ich mal ganz kurz mein Ladekabel von einem Handy ins andere stecken. Bitte nicht erschrecken, falls es hier gerade ein bisschen wackelt. Okay. Shall we do another one or are you already at the end of your nerves? Sollen wir noch einen machen oder seid ihr schon am Ende mit euren Nerven? Also ich kann noch, falls ihr noch eins wollt. Oh, Honey ist immer noch da. Das freut mich sehr, dass es dir gefällt. Um ehrlich zu sein, hätte ich das nicht erwartet. Ich hätte das wirklich nicht erwartet. Ich meine, als du geschrieben hast, Pink, Rosa, Grün, habe ich natürlich schon bewusst dieses Pink und dieses Grün ausgesucht. Nicht einfach nur irgendwie, weil ich finde, die gehen schon irgendwie zusammen. Aber ich hätte nicht gedacht, dass das so wird, so gut wird. Also so von der Farbkombination. Ich will mich jetzt nicht selber loben, sondern ich will nur sagen, ich habe das Gefühl, egal was man nimmt, das wird geil. Oh, Nicola, that is really cool. That makes me happy that you do some for yourself as well. I mean, you could also do all of the bases first and then later on decorate them. Yeah, you could also make just a ton of backgrounds and then later on put your focal points on them. That would also, of course, be a possibility. So then, if you want more, let's do one more. But I need a little bit of space here. Give me a second. Shauna, another please. I suggest using your favorite colors or a challenge with Villainous Potion. Are you a fortune teller? You probably are a fortune teller. Tschüssikowski, Honey. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Schön, dass du da warst. On Instagram, someone had suggested purple and turquoise. And I think that is a good idea. So let's try that. I have lost my tags. Oh no. Where's this little thing where my tags are in? Here. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to take another piece of coffee dyed paper. This time this is coffee dyed photo paper, but that of course doesn't matter. Take what you have and what you want. You were going to say Uncharted Mariner. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, shall we exchange? Yeah, we could even take a third color. I mean, we can take Uncharted Mariner as well. Additionally, I will run away in a second and pick that up. We could try to scribble with Uncharted Mariner and then use the peacock feathers and, you know, Villainous Potion. But I will run away and grab some Uncharted Mariner mediums. I also picked the Villainous Potion and Uncharted Mariner watercolor pencil, Uncharted Mariner Peacock Feathers crayon, and Uncharted Mariner spray. So let's first scribble. Yeah, Sandy, this coffee dyed paper is really amazing. It truly is. And that's because this is photo paper. Take matte photo paper, please, for everything. Well, perhaps not for everything, but if you haven't tried out matte photo paper yet, then you definitely have missed something in your life. Do you take oxide or ink? I will decide that in a second, Simone. So, first of all, we want to scribble here again. And I think we're going to do that with the crayons. And then we could try to use a stencil like I did in the other reel, which I posted today. So I'm going to use Uncharted Mariner and peacock feathers. But of course, please take what you have and what you like. You could also take a black pen or a white Posca pen or whatever for scribbling. And what do we want? Let's try something. Let's try to write, but scribble at the same time. So what about love? Like so. Can you read that? Can you see that I'm writing the word love? Ich versuche hier gerade mal love zu schreiben, anstatt einfach nur so wild rumzukritzeln. Weil das könnte ja vielleicht auch gut aussehen. Tut es auch. Seht ihr das? So then these crayons you can smear with your finger or with a little bit of water with a brush or without a brush, you know, you can smear them now. And I think we could take a stencil and try that. I stop when I want to stop, Sandy. But you're right, it's really much. But have in mind that we throw the other things on top as well, and then it can happen that we will not see so much of these colors anymore. Can you use the watercolor pencils, Simone? Yes, you could also scribble with the watercolor pencils. We could perhaps additionally do that. I will dip them in my water here. Sorry, you can't see that. Of course, you could do that without water as well. That would also work. So let's save this pigment here. Ooh! Oh no! What did I do? Oh no! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Look what happened. Send help. I did have a weird distress reaction on matte photo paper. I had dipped a dark antique linen a few months ago and a brown distress, and not sure if it was the light or some hot and cold. What? I'm not sure if I understood that. Wait. I had dipped a dark antique linen a few months ago and a brown distress, and not sure if it was the light or some hot and cold. I have absolutely no idea what that means. I think I'm so sorry, Femke. I don't understand what you mean. Yeah, of course, I can tape the crayon. I will later on just take a piece of tape and then put that around here, but I don't want to wreck your nerves with that. Where was I? I wanted to use a stencil, and I already picked this here with these numbers because I think that could be great. And now we can smear the crayons with either our finger or a blending brush, but I want to try my finger. Oh, it's too dry. Oh my goodness, I'm giving myself a peeling. Ich werde das jetzt versuchen mit meinem Finger zu verschmieren, weil die Kreide lässt sich ja verschmieren. Und das könnt ihr jetzt entweder mit einem Bürstchen machen oder mit eurem Finger. Ich stelle gerade fest, mit etwas Wasser geht das einfacher, weil ich gebe mir hier sonst ein Peeling durch die Schablone. Ne, ist das ein bisschen anstrengend am Finger, aber gehen täte das auch ohne das Wasser, aber mit Wasser ist halt einfacher. If you do this, try to use just the tiniest bit of water, not too much, otherwise it runs under the stencil, and then this could look a little bit too abstract. Wenn ihr das mit dem Finger macht und ihr macht da Wasser dran an euren Finger, nehmt nur ganz, ganz bisschen Wasser, dass der Finger gerade so, ne, gerade so ein bisschen feucht ist und dann könnt ihr das so verschmieren. Wenn ihr zu viel Wasser nehmt, dann läuft das unter die Schablone und dann kann das auch cool aussehen, aber das ist mir hier ein bisschen zu abstrakt. Ich will nicht, dass das zu abstrakt wird. Would a baby wipe work? Yes and no. It would work. Yeah, well, yes, it would work, but not in the way like I want it here. Because if you would use a baby wipe, well, let me show you what that does. But wait, give me a second, please. I will quickly finish this step, and then on another piece here, I will show you, or in another spot, I will show you what would happen if you would use a baby wipe. Why can't I line this up again now? Okay. Das ist mir noch nicht konkret genug. Ich mache hier gerade noch ein bisschen mehr. So. Und jemand hatte gefragt, ob man auch so ein Babyfeuchttuch nehmen kann. Das kann man schon, aber das gibt einen anderen Effekt. Also es passiert dann was anderes. Das zeige ich euch gleich, wenn ich das hier so habe, wie ich mir das denke, wie das werden könnte. Ich will das hier an den Rändern noch ein bisschen doller. That looks really cool. That looks really interesting. I like that it does something, but it's still really, really abstract. Ich finde es cool, dass das was macht, aber das ist trotzdem noch voll abstrakt. Man kann die Zahlen eigentlich gar nicht so gut sehen, es sei denn, man guckt ganz genau hin. If you would use a baby wipe, I don't have a baby wipe here at the moment, but it would be the same like a wet paper towel. Wenn du ein Feuchttuch benutzen würdest dafür, würde Folgendes passieren. Weil die Crayon wasserlöslich ist, würdest du sie abheben, wenn du das mit einem Feuchttuch machst. Du kriegst dann vermutlich trotzdem einen Effekt, aber nicht den gleichen wie der, den ich jetzt hier eben hatte, weil hier habe ich das ja verschmiert und dadurch habe ich da Farbe, ja, verteilt sozusagen. Und wenn ich jetzt hier mit so einem feuchten Tuch drüber gehe, dann nehme ich die Farbe runter. Ein bisschen verschmiert ist natürlich auch. So when I take this and I go over this, I will take the crayon away instead of smearing it around, and that will give a different effect. So that means when you do it here like so with the finger, you get somehow a mixture of the color, because you, yeah, what are you doing? You are mixing it with your finger by doing this. But when you do it with a wet paper towel or a baby wipe, of course you are smearing it around as well again, but you are also taking it away. And that gives a different result. It's way lighter because here Uncharted Mariner is now, you know, yeah, like pastel-ish somehow, because we've taken it away. More subtractive than, yeah. I think if the distress brown was okay, but in this case it looks really cool. I really like what this did, because we have a nice flow of the colors there. Perhaps we can even do a little bit of that here, even if I don't know what will happen here in a second. Yeah, but I like it better when I smear it with my finger. Somehow I can control that better. Okay, so then when we have that, what shall we do then next? I'm really excited what will happen now with this resist effect of the crayon, because there where it's smeared, I am excited how that will then react. But shall we add something else which is a resist? Yeah, Femke, I think you talk about the reaction of oxide spray or oxide mediums in general on photo paper. That is completely normal. Completely normal. If you would, for example, spritz uncharted marina, sorry, not spritz, put uncharted marina oxide refiller to a photo paper, you could get pink, depending on the brand of the photo paper. Yeah, but that is completely normal. Mit welcher Farbe sollen wir denn jetzt hier mal anfangen? Hier ist jetzt schon ziemlich viel Dings, ne? Wir fangen mal hier an mit Peacock Feathers. Let's start with Peacock Feathers. I used normal distress ink, no oxide. Yeah, that can happen with some brands of photo paper as well. I also had some really interesting reactions also with the ink. But that is then because of the paper and not because of the ink. Have you ever spritzed to your bottle? How did that happen? Oh my goodness. Yeah, really, Femke. Also months later, yes. But I think that is also a really interesting feature about the distress mediums, that you also can get with different papers or so, totally different reactions. And that is cool. But you can also send me photos later. Perhaps I can then see that a little bit better. I mean, I am not God, yeah? I don't know what happened. What happened exactly with your piece, but if you want, please feel free to send me some photos or so later, then I can perhaps take a look at that. Perhaps I have an idea what has happened there. Thank you very much, Anna. That is really kind. I've not dried it completely, but just a little bit. So now I want to do it like this. Yeah, it's really satisfying, Shauna. I also think that. But if you would be here in my position, then you would also notice that it is a little bit nerve-wracking because of the things here around, but it's okay. I mean, if this flies to like your glass or so, or to, you know, a furniture which you can wipe off or so, then that is not the problem. Or to these bottles, I don't care about that. I can take a wet paper towel later and make that clean again. But if it flies to the wall, that is not so nice. But I like it. But here in this case, the resist is, for my taste, a little bit too much. But we will see. We will now take Uncharted Mariner. Londa, unfortunately, my shirt is not the same color. I have a shirt which says, let the music play. Wait a second. And it has colors. Can you see that? But on the yellow there's already also some other colors. I'm a little bit freaking my freak because this shirt wasn't fitting for a very, very long time. And yesterday I tried it on and I was very proud that I can wear it again. But now I think I need to wash it first before anything else can happen. But that's okay. Okay, Uncharted Mariner mixed with the tiniest bit of the peacock feathers. And yes, I will clean these sponges later. I will not use these on my ink pads then, or oxide ink pads. I will clean these. Diese Schwämmchen hier, die werde ich später, oh, that was not enough, sauber machen. Ich werde die nicht, sehr groß geschrieben, ja, auf meinen Oxide Ink Pads benutzen, um mir meine Inkpads nicht zu versauen. Falls das einer denkt, weil diese Fingerschwämmchen sind ja normalerweise für was anderes gemacht, ne? Thank you very much, Sandy. That is really kind. I'm pretty proud that that was much, that I could manage that. I had, yeah, struggles with that, with my weight nearly for my whole life. And I'm really happy that I now finally found a way to get that under control. It's very blue. Oh my goodness, what is this? For the new people here, perhaps you're wondering why I do this. I want to use my tag later in combination with this paper. That's why I have glued the paper to the tag to the paper, so that it can't move and that it stays in this position. But of course, you could also do that independently. Oh my goodness. Femke, are you still here, Femke? Do you remember when I said sometimes you can get pink when you put Uncharted Mariner to photo paper? Here you go. Can you see this outline? Please look to the brown paper. Can you see this outline around the Uncharted Mariner splatter there? It's turning pink. That is normal on photo paper. And here it's more like a purple pink than a pink, and that fits perfectly to the Villainous Potion. Here you can see it even better. When we let this here for a while and don't do anything, then it can also happen that it soaks into the paper even more. And I think perhaps I can put a photo to Instagram later there where you can then see it better. I don't know how well you can see that in the camera, but here it's bleeding already into the paper. Can you see that? Don't know how well the quality of the stream, or how good the quality of the stream is, but this purple here, this pink, comes from Uncharted Mariner, not from the Villainous Potion. And that's what I was trying to say a few minutes ago when Femke asked about this weird reaction on her piece. No, I missed a lot of comments. Let me quickly try to read that. Yeah, Shauna, this room also often looks like a crime scene. Light bulb Nirvana, what did I do? What do you mean? Because of the weight loss? Well, I'm not so 100% sure if I want to talk about that here, because that would be not because I don't want to talk about it, but I think it would be a whole different topic, and it's probably nothing for this live. But I did something special. But if you want to know more about that, light bulb, then please message me on Instagram later, okay? Then I can tell you about it if you want. I have no problem to talk about that, but I don't want to use this live for that, yeah? So you know what I mean? Because it's just not the topic of the live. Wait. What if we... Let me quickly think about this. What if we take our stencil again? Because it's pretty solid here, isn't it? And the numbers got lost a little bit. But what if we take this? Like so. And try to wipe off a little bit of the Uncharted Mariner. Dory, I am so sorry. This was a little bit spontaneous, but I'm glad you found the way to this live. I already talked about the super stalkers earlier. And Dory is also one of those, definitely. Oh no, I just destroyed my paper. Well, it worked, but I think you can't see it so well. Das hat jetzt hier schon funktioniert. Ich habe versucht, das Uncharted Mariner ein bisschen runterzunehmen. Dabei habe ich mir das Papier ein bisschen zerstört. Das hat schon funktioniert. Es ist jetzt nicht mehr ganz so massiv wie vorher, aber man sieht das bloß leider nicht so gut. Ich trockne das mal kurz. The number of this stencil is THMS 054. This is one of the mini stencils, 054. Oh, Carly, thank you so much. It's crazy. Can you see here the pink, purple pink is even more now on the photo paper. And I haven't thought about this reaction before I chose the paper and the colors, but this is perfect now with the Villainous Potion. But I think we need more of the peacock feathers. Do I have... Let me quickly take a look. No, I don't. Can someone please come and pick this up? I don't want to waste that. Yes, that is a well-used dryer, and That is also something where I always think when I edit my videos and I see then the dryer, with a little bit of distance on my computer, I always think, oh my goodness, Luise, you need to clean that dryer for the next video, and then it doesn't happen. But we know it's only paint and glue and stuff. It's not really. Is it dirt when you have mediums on your heat tool? I don't think so. Okay. I want more of the peacock feathers, and we also have to talk about Villainous Potion then, because shall we also... Let's do the peacock feathers first. Okay, I will not clean it. Why is my brother sending me a photo? Oh my goodness, what does he want from me? Ich muss dem mal kurz eine Dings machen. Einen wunderschönen guten Abend, ich bin gerade auf YouTube live. Wenn du dir das angucken willst, dann musst du da jetzt hinkommen, ansonsten kann ich dir gerade nicht antworten. I'm so sorry, I needed to answer my brother. He has sent me a really weird photo of a Google Maps. I don't know what he wants from me now, but that doesn't matter. Oh yes, dry it. Oh nein, dry it. I want this uncharted mariner in the middle, in the center. Yeah, it will dry a little bit, not so extremely intense like here, I guess, because it's on the other one, but I think it will look good. Kim, that's very funny. I think that looks good. But what shall we now do with the Villainous Potion thing? Shall we also, I mean, here is already pretty much going on, and I don't want to cover this up so much. But what we could do is... Do I have... Wait. Yes, I do. I do have the Villainous Potion crayon. So perhaps we could stencil through the stencil again, but with Villainous Potion. Either with the crayon or with the oxide ink. I think I'm going to take the oxide ink. Hi, Wisconsin. Where's my stencil now? Perhaps I should take my stencil first. And I also think, shall we really use these numbers. I mean, we have them already here. I can't believe you spend so much time on one tag. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, it's good that everyone can decide that how much you want to spend, how much time you want to spend. Plus, please just decide that for yourself. And if you want to spend less time on a tag, then spend less. Okay. But obviously, when I talk to you and when I try to alternate the languages, it's also longer than it would take me if I would do this alone without you. Because if I wouldn't talk and do the steps just without talking, then yes, it would be faster, obviously. Yes, Gina, I also think that it's not just the tag, it's a technical process, obviously, also that, because when you have questions and I try to explain why I'm doing things, then obviously it also takes longer. But I appreciate that feedback. I really appreciate that when someone says, "Ooh, that is long" or so. That is a good thing, because when you tell me that and you perhaps say, "Oh, I don't like that," that is important to me as well for my own reflection of the things I'm doing here, because I don't want to do things you don't like. I mean, I will do the things I like and I will do it in my own speed, but obviously such a feedback is really helpful as well. So thank you for that. I end up taking a lot of time too, though. I try to make a quick tag, then 2 hours later, it's not done. Yes, Carly, exactly that. That happens very, very often to me as well. Carly, I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood you before, but no, yes, even if you, I'm so sorry. Now I understand what you mean. But even if you had meant it the other way around, I would appreciate that, because why am I doing this here? Yeah, I don't want to wreck your nerves with things you don't want to see. So if that other thing would have been your opinion, that would be helpful as well. Hmm. It is really busy. I mean, what would we expect if we did something like this? Of course, it's getting busy, but I'm just thinking, now we should perhaps think about a focal point. Carly, I don't interpret that as a mean comment, because that's just your opinion. And you could, of course, also watch. I mean, I understood what you mean, yeah, what you meant. But even if you wouldn't like it, you could still watch and say, "Here, I don't like it." That would also be okay. I mean, that is your opinion. It would be, if it would be your opinion. Fossilized ember. Holy shit. Really? Fossilized ember. Hey, ay, 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 ay. Okay. Fossilized ember. Well, then let's perhaps talk about, if you say fossilized ember, then I say the half of this butterfly but with fossilized amber. But how, oh my goodness, how to get this yellow now? Just a tiny bit. Sometimes it needs the time it needs. Yeah. Butterflies always work. That's so true. What's your name? Roseanne. I will be back in a few seconds. I need to pick up some fossilized amber. Hallelujah. What do we have here? Peacock feathers and uncharted mariner. Okay. Just to make it spicy. It's coming together, love. The black on there. Yeah, Shauna, but it will not stay black. Nope, it's not staying black, Carly. I think I will try to do something which I haven't done for a long time, but it's a really cool technique. Thank you so much, Nicolina. That really means a lot to me when you are inspired. So, if we want to take the half of a butterfly, then let's make the whole one, because then we have 2 chances, you know, when we cut it in half, and we have 2 pieces. This is the Perspective Butterfly by Zizix and Tim Holz. I don't know the number at the moment, but the name is Perspective Butterfly. Dieser Die-Cut heißt Perspective Butterfly von Tim Holz und Zizix. Ich weiß jetzt gerade die Nummer nicht aus dem Kopf. War das jedenfalls der Name. Und ich werde jetzt hier versuchen, eine Technik drauf anzuwenden, die ich schon seit einer halben Ewigkeit nicht mehr gemacht habe. And for that, we are going to emboss the butterfly, but with glaze. I want to use these colors, Fossilized Amber and Uncharted Mariner, for embossing that. But these are translucent, so I can't use embossing ink on here to then put the glazes on here, because then I would get a really dark, nearly black color of both of these, because they are translucent. So what I want to do is I want to take my distress paint in the color Fossilized Amber, put that on here, and use the stickiness of the paint to put the glazes on. Ich werde jetzt also diese Glaze hier, Fossilized Amber und Uncharted Mariner, also Embossing Glaze im Allgemeinen, das ist durchscheinend. Das hat zwar diese Farbe, aber das ist durchscheinend. Deswegen kann ich das nicht mit Embossing-Tinte hier drauf machen, weil das durchscheinend ist. Dann würde ich hier so ein volles schwarzes Ergebnis kriegen und nur ganz minimal, also bei dem Uncharted Mariner wahrscheinlich gar nicht, und das würde kacken gelb-schwarz aussehen. Deswegen, also ne, weil das ist so wie, wenn ihr durch Glas gucken würdet, dann würde das auch schwarz aussehen und nicht mehr gelb. Deswegen nehme ich jetzt hier meine Distress Paint, um da erstmal das Gelb zu kriegen. Und dann benutze ich die Klebrigkeit von der Farbe, um es zu embossen. Das wird jetzt nicht komplett deckend werden, weil ich das nicht komplett deckend will. Aber ihr könntet natürlich auch mehrere Schichten jetzt hier drauf machen, sodass das dann komplett abdeckt. Das würde auch gehen. Aber ich möchte, dass das Schwarz so ein bisschen durchscheint. I will now take my paint and put that on here. I want that the black of the paper comes through a little bit. So I don't want a full coverage with the yellow, but just enough that the glaze shows up in a second. Yes, the butterfly did lose an antenna, but that often happens in this room. So then, let's start with fossilized amber and put that all over this thing. What did I miss? It's that kind of thinking that helps. Use the whole butterfly and you have two chances. Yes, I often do that, Sandy. When I have a full piece, I mean, even if I don't use the other half, then even if I don't have a fail, then I have the other half for another project. Yeah, even if it's not becoming a fail. How do I get those distress paints? I heard they were discontinued. No, I think you mix something up. These, the distress stain daubers with this thing, these are discontinued, but the paints you can still get. Ah, okay, Carly, I'm so sorry. I haven't read your second comment, the daubers, I mean. So you can, in some shops, you can still get them. But they are discontinued. These are discontinued. That is correct. Shauna, you can use basically anything you like for embossing. Anything which is sticky would work. Zum Embossen könnt ihr alles benutzen, was klebt. Also wo die das Embossing Pulver oder Embossing Glaze dran kleben bleiben kann. Wasser, Embossing Tinte, Farbe, was auch immer. You can use whatever makes the embossing glaze or powder stick to emboss. I mean, when I do this, you saw that I have waited a little bit with the powder on here so that the paint can dry the tiniest bit. And I also have put it very thin on here because if you have too much paint and you put the powder on there, then it can happen that the paint bubbles. That can give a nice effect, but in this case I don't want it that. Wenn ihr Acrylfarbe nehmt und ihr wollt keine Blasen und so einen texturierten Effekt, dann seht zu, dass ihr die Farbe ein bisschen antrocknen lasst, wenn das Pulver da drauf ist oder bevor ihr das Pulver drauf macht, damit das nicht so hoch blubbert. I think we could give this a second layer just by using the stickiness of the glaze. Just here and there to get it perhaps a little bit more yellow. Ich habe da jetzt einfach hier und da wieder eine zweite Schicht drauf gemacht, damit es ein kleines bisschen gelblicher noch wird. Why the heck is there a thread on my butterfly? I think that was in my embossing glaze container. So then it looks like this. Oh, Cindy, thank you so much. Oh, don't make me cry, Cindy, okay? Please don't make me cry. It looks like antique gold, yeah. It is in the camera, it is a little bit, how can I explain that? It is, in the camera, it looks a little bit like, weiß einer, was Weißwurst-Senf auf Englisch heißt? I don't know the English word. But it's not that gold in reality, like it looks on camera. So let me quickly bring the glaze back into this jar. And speaking about glaze and embossing powder and tools and so on, this is meant to use for embossing. Does anyone have a tip that this doesn't happen, so that I can, you know, it's so static that this sticks here, and that is so nerve-wracking sometimes, because then I need a Swiffer to get rid of that, and that wastes a lot of the glaze, obviously. But I have absolutely no idea how to avoid that. I mean, you could take a paper, yeah, instead of such a tray, but yeah, sometimes I have the feeling that makes even more of a mess than with this tray. Okay. Then I wanted to use the Uncharted Mariner glaze at the same time. Yeah, I also tried to use these anti-static tool from Simon Says to Paulina. Is it something like this, you mean? Wait, what is this little thing? I can't, oh, here is it. Do you mean something like this? Yeah, stored in anti-static. What the heck is an anti-static bag? Eine antistatische Tüte, Tasche. Let's try this. Perhaps that works better. Okay, Cindy, I will try. So what I want to try is I want to add some of the Uncharted Mariner glaze as well, just here and there. And for that, I want to use the stickiness of the glaze, so I will just reheat this. It has a brush. I need to look that up later, Paulina, but thank you for the suggestion. And this way it sticks there, because the yellow was remelted. And that way I can get a little bit of a color variation in here. And that looks really cool, but I'm not so sure if I like that on the tag. So let's quickly check. Ugh. Bissi-kotzi. Look here, it is, that is too green. The yellow is not yellow enough. And Uncharted Mariner is not doing what I want. I mean, that's not correct. It's doing what I want, but not in combination with, it doesn't work in combination with these colors. Let's fix that. Ich werde mit diesem Plan nicht fortfahren, weil das schaut mir zu kacki gelb hier aus. Schaut ein bisschen aus wie so ein 3-jähriges Kind, das Durchfall hat. Altersunabhängig ist dieser Zustand eigentlich, aber okay. Wir werden nicht weitermachen mit diesem Plan, sondern wir werden das erstmal hier irgendwie retten. Das Gelb. Die Glaze hat schon gemacht, was sie sollte da. Aber das passt farblich nicht. Wo ist denn jetzt mein Swiffer hin? Hier. Okay. I need to think about this for a second and try to decide what I want to do, because this is absolutely terrible. Fossilized amber was a good idea, but it turned out too it's a little bit like mustard seed now. Yeah, exactly that. The black of the paper is not so good. We need to somehow either make this more yellow or change the background. I also think that this butterfly is not an ideal focal point for this background. It's way too busy. This whole thing is too busy. Tone down the background. Wild honey. Let's try something. Why are we here? Because we want to try things, right? And even if we can't control things, we can do something. And because of that, we will turn on our technical brain now and think about what we can do. Das ist hier ziemlich experimentelles Dingsbums, ne? Und deswegen werden wir jetzt hier unser Technik-Brain mal anschalten und überlegen, was hier möglich ist. Ich möchte eigentlich gerne diesen Schmetterling benutzen, weil, ja, irgendwer hat von euch vorher Schmetterling vorgeschlagen, warum soll man das nicht benutzen? Und vor allen Dingen, wenn man sowas hat, möchte ich auch immer irgendwie versuchen, so weit wie möglich versuchen, etwas möglich zu machen, anstatt zu sagen, ah ja, nee, das ist jetzt hier nicht so das Richtige, ich tue das gleich weg, sondern ich möchte erstmal probieren, ob es nicht doch irgendwie geht. Aber das liegt so in meiner Natur, das kann man natürlich machen, wie man möchte. Before I say I don't use the butterfly, I want to try to use it and I want to try to make it work. But that is my personality somehow, and my brain works like that. I prefer to try out if I can make it work. That for me is more fun than saying, okay, I take this for another project, which would also, of course, be okay, and don't use it here. But I want to try to make it work. So first, if it then doesn't work at all, then we can still decide to use something else. So what I want to try is, because you have suggested fossilized amber, let's try to make that work, but differently. Let's try to use a brayer, since this is paint. I want to try to brayer over here. Ich will mal versuchen, hier rüber zu brayern über diesen Hintergrund. It was a nice evening with you. Bye bye. Okay, but that Who the heck suggested this color? Oh my goodness. Like you did on the cover of the Raggedy Turtle Bloom journal cover. Oh, that is perhaps not the baddest idea. That is that is perhaps not the baddest idea. I like the yellow in combination with the purple. Let's just try to add more. Okay. We can still later on open the window and throw it out, but not yet. Do you know what's also weird here? It's weird that we have these nearly white areas in between of the numbers. That is absolutely weird. Let's get rid of those. I don't know if it's the correct color, but this white is gone. And I know we can't see the splatters so well anymore. I know that. I see that. I can hear you already screaming, where are the splatters? But first of all, I need to try to manage the problem with the colors before I can do anything else. Can you take black? Now make more splats, yeah. What if we... I mean, interestingly, that is normal, but hä? Excuse me, please, but what the heck? Now I'm so sorry. I just see something here which I can't understand. Why is here orange now? Here there's villainous potion underneath, and it obviously touched the yellow. Why the heck is it orange? I need to try something, otherwise I will forget that. Let's try to reconstruct that. There is the villainous potion in the corner, and then I went over that with the fossilized ember. Look at the reaction of this stuff on the photo paper. What the heck is happening here? Oh, I mean, do you understand why I'm so shocked at the moment? Because this is not what we would expect if we would put these, you know, this is not what I would expect if I would put the yellow over the purple, because otherwise we would get the color here as well. Do you understand what I mean? That is because of the photo paper. And that is really crazy. This was just water. Let's let that dry and take a look at that later. But that is something we definitely need to have in mind for the future. I need to make experiments with that. Back to the problem. Yeah, that would make a really cool sunset, Paulina. Make the butterfly purple. I'm just thinking, I had taken out this one here. I'm just thinking if I shall just go with a smaller butterfly. Dark purple. My problem is I really like your suggestions. Thank you so much for that. But what my problem is that I don't like the background yet. To be honest, I absolutely hate this background. And what I don't like is that we can't see any of the splatters anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paint instead of the spray. But it is potion and fossilized amber. Great orange. Remember that for Halloween. Oh yes, that is a good idea, Cindy. Stencil again. Or try to make more splatters. I'm going to use fossilized amber spritz to mix that in here. That gives a bit of gold. I'm hoping that that could look good. And we need a yellow sponge. Let's take this one. And if we would use the butterfly here later, then definitely the yellow would need to go here, here, and there. Okay, let's try that. I think we're going to get really crazy green here now, but okay, it's what it is. It's not flying enough. But the yellow and the purple are doing the same stuff here on the photo paper like there. That is interesting. That's already better, but this butterfly, this background, oh my goodness. Carly, I think we're going to do that. Stencil again. Different medium. Splattering the butterfly. How do you mean that, light bulb? Or emboss the butterfly black. What about introducing that amazing orange in splatters? I think if the butterfly was black, that would be pretty cool. But what I don't like yet is the background. It's just too, we lost the numbers, we lost everything we did. I'm thinking of using the stencil again, but with paste. Das ist schon mal hier ganz eine schlaue Idee, wenn das Viech hier schwarz ist. Ach, ich muss mal einmal ganz kurz meine Hände in meinen Wasserbehälter hier reinstecken. Oh, das ist fast wie im Pool. Aber I would make it rainbow colors now. Texture paste opaque, villainous potion glaze. Yeah, Shauna, I already thought about something like that, but then perhaps the background gets too busy again if I now would use a dark glaze. Texture paste opaque, villainous potion glaze. That would mean that the Shauna's suggestion is texture paste opaque and villainous potion glaze, but that would mean I would glaze a white medium, and then oh my goodness, excuse me please, villainous potion would get really light, not this light here, but pretty light compared to the original color, and I don't know if that then looks like a kindergarten project. I mean, what can happen? Bring the orange and that purple into it. I need to take a look at my other glazes. What do I have? If I would use... Ich überlege gerade, welche Glaze wir benutzen könnten, um diesen ganzen Rotz da ein bisschen runterzukriegen. Das muss irgendwas, ich glaube, das muss irgendwas Grünes sein. Oder wir... Or we could also... You say it needs orange. Which orange glaze do I have? I need to take a look at my shelf. Perhaps. Okay, let's try something. Let's try something. We are going to... I'm going to use texture paste opaque through the stencil. Also, wir nehmen die weiße Paste, also die opake Paste. And this would normally now, if I would do nothing except letting this dry, this would then normally get stained a little bit because of the water reactable, no, that is not a word, these mediums which are not waterproof underneath. And because I don't want that, because then it's even more uncontrollable, I will glaze it with something in a second. Würde ich das jetzt einfach trocknen lassen, würde das nicht weiß bleiben. Wäre cool, wenn es so wäre, ne? Weil darunter diese wasserreaktivierbaren Medien sind und deshalb würde sich dieses einfärben, wenn ich es einfach so trocknen lassen würde. Deswegen will ich es embossen. And I'm just thinking, white embossing powder would also work now. What do you think? Or black embossing powder, yeah, I just thought that. No, we will go with my first idea. That is what you suggested. You suggested bring in that orange. So we are going to try that. I want to experiment instead of going the safe way. But how to do that now? Where is my, I need another paper. This is Rusty Hinge glaze. And do you know what I will do now? I will throw that over the whole thing. Also here on the, oh no, what happened here? On the edges where some of the paint is still wet. Because as I said in the beginning, I want to use my tag on this paper later. That's why I glued the tag to the paper. Yeah, if you only want to have the tag for something later, then it's not necessary to do it like this. But I'm hoping, and that happens, that some of the glaze now sticks to the other areas as well, so that we get something like a connection of the tag and the paper. But that is only because of my plans with the tag. And now I will not wait for this to dry. Otherwise we would need to sit here until, you know, after dinner or so. If you use texture paste and then glaze, you can let that air dry until the paste is dry and then emboss the whole stuff. But since I have used this in a different way and since I don't have time and, you know, I want to go to Daniel Evans live at 10 p.m. Central European time, I don't have time, yeah? Paulina, will you follow me? I'm sure you will. And for some other reasons, I don't let this dry, but you could let it dry and then emboss it. But if you do that, please be aware that all of this stuff will then fly through your room. Why is this here? Because here is some moisture. And because of that, this is still here. And this is a ton of glaze. And yes, I did that on purpose. If you don't want that, then please do it in a different way. I start heating this up from here, from under the paper, so that the glaze has the chance to stick to those areas as well, really well, where it's not so sticky like on the paste, so that it doesn't fly away. That's just a safety thing. Ihr könnt die Glaze auf die feuchte Paste werfen. Dann bleibt das da dran kleben, genauso wie an den Stellen jetzt. Brennt hier gerade irgendwas? Nein. Genauso wie an den Stellen rundherum jetzt, wo das noch feucht ist, bleibt das kleben. Ihr könnt, wie gesagt, alles zum Embossen nehmen, was irgendwie klebrig ist. Aber ihr seht auch, dass da ein Haufen Glaze da oben drauf liegt. Und genau das will ich. Ich will das genau so. damit ich eine stärkere Intensität von der Glaze kriege, wenn das jetzt schmilzt. Damit es nicht wegfliegt, mache ich das von unten erstmal heiß, sodass das schon mal so ein bisschen anfängt zu kleben und dann zu schmilzen. Und dadurch wird das geil. Ihr könntet das auch trocknen lassen, also die Strukturpaste trocknen lassen und dann föhnen. Habe ich dafür Zeit? Nein. Habt ihr dafür Zeit? Nein. Weil wir müssten sonst hier sitzen und hier eine halbe Ewigkeit warten, bis der Rotz da getrocknet ist. Aber wenn ihr das nicht trocknen lasst, habt ihr außerdem noch den Vorteil, dass das geiler wird, meiner Meinung nach. Und nein, das fällt nicht ab. Es babbelt jetzt hier so ein bisschen hoch und dadurch wird das Schablonierte viel dimensionaler und viel grungiger und viel geiler halt einfach. Aber das ist nur meine persönliche Meinung. I like to do it like this and also let the stuff bubble here a little bit because I just like the effect. But that is personal preference. I like it better when it's like this, but obviously you can do that like you want it. You could also let the paste dry first and then emboss it. But that would also mean that what's in between here would then fly away because then it's just too dry. Yeah, the glaze would fly away if the paper would dry. Time for pizza. Did someone say pizza? My goodness. That's what I meant about bringing in the orange. Yeah, Lana? I have the feeling that was a good idea. And I really like this effect here, where the glaze was sticking to the wet areas of the tag. Here it looks really interesting. So now everything is good to go, but we need to let this cool down for a second. Give me a second, please. Ich muss hier ganz kurz Hilfe. It's looking very grungy and would fit in with a steampunk themed journal. That's what is okay. Don't distract yourself, Louise. This still looks like from the kindergarten, but that doesn't matter. This is pretty cool. So first of all, let's cut this friend here in half. Why are you talking about pizza? I mean, are you aware that I am here at work? I can hear you. And that's interesting. I talked about Daniel Evans' life, and you are starting to talk about pizza. Is that coincidence? Probably not. Ah, my goodness, I'm dying. Do you know what? The stencil I'm searching for is right here next to me. Why did it get so dark on those spots? Kali, that is just because here is way more glaze. Do you remember that here there was a little hill of glaze? That is just because it's more there, and it's translucent, and the background is darker than the paste. Here you see a mixture of white and rusty hinge, and here you see a mixture of the background color and rusty hinge, and that's why it is darker there. Hopefully that makes sense. If the screen will be empty in 5 seconds or so, then you know that I left the room and that I will never come back. Why are you all talking about food? Oh my goodness. That is so mean. So I've come on my phone to comment. It started purple, but love orange and purple, please. Okay. Let me think about that while I'm discussing here my problems with myself, okay? I want to run away. I think that was not a good idea. Gold embossed the scrolls. I first thought about that. That could work. I'm assuming that it gets too busy. This white butterfly is a die cut slash embossing thingy. I always forget the names, the name of these kind of things. It can cut and emboss at the same time, but I don't even have this thing. I got these in a Happy Mail. Yeah, I think this butterfly is too big for our background. That is the first thing. The second thing I think is it's the wrong color now. This is the wrong color as well, but please give me a second to think about this. What if we, it's coincidence that I have this here, but what if we, because do you know what I really don't like is this uncharted mariner and the peacock feathers. It's not visible enough anymore. It's gone. It's only around here and not on the tag, and that looks absolutely weird. So let's try something. I said that about 30 minutes ago. Oh my goodness. Yes, and a white bird. One white smash splatter behind the body of the black butterfly. Tommy, that is really difficult now because I have all of this texture here. I know what you mean, but I would then need to probably cut something out or so and put that over there. Otherwise, it would not work because of this whole this texture, and some of the mediums are water soluble, so that would be a problem as well. With the white, I mean that it stays white. Look at that. Okay, so then we could either, I mean, I like this. Do you like that as well? We could now either go with this solid butterfly somehow. This is really extreme. I mean, we would need to change the color because this is extremely white, isn't it? Work. Some of you still want the big butterfly. I'm really not sure if I can do that. Oh. Perhaps it needs something solid here in the center. I have the feeling the whole thing is way too busy. Do your magic. Is that a command? Das ist nicht immer so einfach. I'm the queen of busy. Well. What do you think about my candy corn birds? I just found them today. I I made these ages ago. That's why you are all here. Oh my goodness. Are you sure? This is totally the wrong color, but I found these birds today. And I was wondering why I haven't used them yet. Yeah, the bird needs to be black. I think we are coming close to what we need here. This is a mixture of the lovebirds and the silhouette birds by Sizzix and Tim Holtz. The lovebirds are a little bigger. Those are from the Fault collection. And the silhouette birds are a little smaller. So this is one from the silhouette birds. Is he alone there, or are they kissing? What are they doing here? Ah, that is a little bit very kitschy. I like that. That is good. Okay. Since the circle is pretty light, And since I'm the queen of busy, and since this blue is still bothering me, I'm thinking about letting some flowers really go to the background somehow. For all of you who came later, I want to, I don't know if you can even see that anymore. I want to use this tag on this paper later. So I have just glued the tag to my paper. I don't know if you can see that. There's a tag. And I did that on purpose so that I can follow my plan I have with this. But you could do that on a loose tag as well. But since I want to do that, what I just said, I can let the flowers go to the background as well. Okay, but before we glue that down, we are going to do something else. First, we take this and we glue this wreath on the paper there. We can let this dry. Jetzt habe ich erstmal diese zwei Teile hier zusammengeklebt, dass das hier mal trocknen kann. Then we're going to dry this paste. It's not completely dry yet. Trockne ich gerade noch hier die schwarze Paste. Und dann tue ich was, aber ich weiß noch nicht mit was. Then I want to do something, but I am not sure yet with which color. This is ground espresso crayon. That looks really wild, I know. But oh, Paulina, you are still here. Congratulations. You are a really patient person. And there are some people who are really like from the beginning until now here. I really, really appreciate that. That is crazy. I want to try to give this a shadow. Oh, but this is really nerve-wracking. Ich will versuchen, das zu schattieren, damit der Tag besser zur Geltung kommt. Und dieser komische Hintergrund von dem Papier ein bisschen abgedämpft wird. I'm going to take something else to bring that around. I'm going to take this brush here. It could be even darker. So this is Black Soot crayon. This is probably something you would not see if this wasn't live. Das ist jetzt hier sowas, was ihr wahrscheinlich nicht zu sehen bekommen würdet, wenn das hier nicht live wäre. I think in a second you will freak out. Where are my big scissors? I lost my scissors. Hä? Sometimes I'm really asking myself, what the heck? Yeah, Kim, that is definitely a fact. But I think that is also good because that way you can learn a lot about yourself and about what you are doing. Because now, when we see it like this, the colors are harmonious suddenly. And to be honest, the stuff we had before was just, I mean, look, with this blue, I mean, everything started with Uncharted Mariner, Peacock Feathers, and Villainous Potion, but this blue, it was just terrible. But that doesn't mean that we can't use this. This is great collage fodder. We can still make something else from this, because look, if I use this, it's absolutely fantastic. Glue that to another tag and you have something cool. And who says that we can't change our mind? Yeah, Cindy, that is also true. My brain needs a rest. I'm just realizing that as well, that it is very, very long already that I'm doing this here, but I also enjoy it a lot to be here with you. But that is true. Normally, if this wasn't live, I would have taken a break, definitely, already. Instead of, you know, sitting here and trying to go on. But I think this is absolutely cool. Oh, Gary, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. You are late to the party. Very late. But thank you very much. What is that? Sind das Nilpferde? Das sind Nilpferde. Ich wünschte, ich könnte jetzt in so ein Wasser springen, wie die da sind. Wo ist denn jetzt der Rest von diesem Papier, was ich da vorher hatte? Könnten wir da vielleicht mal gerade drüber sprechen, dass das vielleicht hier drauf gut aussehen könnte? Also, Gary, du hast jetzt gerade hier die größte Katastrophe verpasst. Gott sei Dank. Weil sonst hättest du dir das vielleicht nochmal anders überlegt mit diesem Super-Sticker. Das ist jetzt hier zu hell und das ist auch viel zu brav. Das ist nicht so gut. Wir machen hier noch ein bisschen Action. Wo ist denn jetzt hier mal meine weiße Farbe? So, jetzt brauche ich hier irgendwas, womit ich hier rein donnern kann, aber ohne dass ich das da mir verdingse. Ich brauche einen sauberen Schwamm. Sowas existiert hier aber nicht. Also es existiert schon sauberer Schwamm, aber nicht so sauber, dass es wirklich rein weiß bliebe. Hier haben wir Collage-Medium drauf. Das ist ja nicht so schlimm, ne? Protect everything. Oh mein Gott. I'm really afraid. Oh. I was expecting a little more. What the heck is that? More water, yeah, that could help. Are we talking about bird poo now, or is this still okay? I mean, how big is that then? I want to have something which is lighter and approximately the color of these circles there, but I don't want it to look like bird poo. But I think it looks like bird poo. But we will go on. Can someone please order a pizza for me and let that, be delivered in approximately half an hour or so? Okay, where does the third one need to go? Approximately here. Kann mir bitte irgendjemand eine Pizza bestellen und die bitte so in so einer halben Stündchen oder so mir hier hinbringen lassen? Eigentlich sehr nett. Ja, genau. You don't speak German. Yes, but you follow me anyway. That was an insider. There are people in this world who watch my Instagram reels really carefully. And then I get weird WhatsApp messages about my fingers and how I did the effects on my fingers and so on. That is really interesting. I mean, 2 hours ago, I talked about those people who are here and follow me everywhere. Paulina, Dory, Tommy, and so on. But there is a person who is even more extreme. And then that person says that he can't speak English. German. Was? I don't speak German. Normally he says I don't speak English. Das sehe ich bestimmt an der Klimaerwärmung. Das liegt garantiert an der Klimaerwärmung. Und außerdem auch, wenn man sich große Autos kauft, also sehr, sehr, sehr große Autos, dann ist das auch besonders gefährlich auch, ja. Ich frage mich jetzt allerdings auch, kann mir mal irgendjemand bitte erklären, warum ich mich neulich so abgemüht habe mit diesem blöden Löwenzahn-Gedöns-Kack da, wenn das auch so gegangen wäre mit diesem Blending-Tool? Weil guck mal, wie geil jetzt diese Dinger geworden sind. Yeah, Femke, he's just too lazy. You can call him, his telephone number is on his website. Can someone please tell me why I didn't come to the idea with the blending tool earlier? Do you remember this video where I smashed the dandelions? I mean, look at this. This is perfection compared to the other splashes I have. I mean, there were some which were great as well, but these are really controllable. What happened to Villainous Potion? I don't know. It is gone. And that's so sad. Oh yeah, that is really sad. Because that somehow it's really sad that it's gone. But I'm really afraid to put it back in. I mean, that is too dangerous. It's just too dangerous. I need to scream for a second, I'm sorry. Ich kann gerade nicht, ich bin gerade live. I'm so sorry. I think I now completely lost my concentration and I can't see anymore what I want to do. My brain has lost, you know, it's what is sensibilität in English? I don't know. I can tell you that I don't like it yet, but I don't know what to do. Yeah, it's definitely time for junk journal medicine, for pizza, and you know, everything. It's just I think too long that I'm sitting here. I don't like this clean background because imagine what we did here. This turned out way cooler, and I really like this flow of this whole thing. Also with the others I did before. Look at this. It's, you know, please imagine this whole these things in one journal. Sensibility. Danke, Gary. Thank you, Gary. That is especially what I was searching for. My brain lost its sensibility. But I mean, look, I could glue this down and it would be something. And it really helped that we have cut this off. I'm really convinced that that was a good step. And this looks nice. I could do it like this. It would look great. But it's something which doesn't fit into my concept here. And that is to have the tag there and this flow of the stuff over the paper. Do you understand what I mean? Here it's not so much, but it is there. Here it's more, and it's a completely different thing. And that is what hinders me to go on with the other thing, because since I've cut it up, I can't have this anymore. That is, it's not the end of the world, but that is why I need a break now. Ihr lieben Leute, mein Problem ist, mein Hirn ist Brei, aber richtig Brei gerade, weil wir hier einfach schon viel zu lange sitzen. Wann hat das denn hier eigentlich angefangen? Um 6, jetzt ist es 9:30, oh mein Gott. Was hier gerade passiert, ist Folgendes. Ich finde das schön und ja, ich könnte das so machen, aber ich will das gerade nicht so machen und wisst ihr warum nicht? Weil mir das nicht in meine Serie hier reinpasst. Ich möchte gerne etwas haben, was so aussieht wie das hier. Warum sieht das so aus? Weil dieser Tag hier ist und dann ist dieses ganze Gespritzige da so drumrum und der Tag ist so eingebettet in dieses Blatt. Genauso bei diesem hier und genauso bei dem anderen, was wir vorher in diesem Live schon gemacht haben, also das hier war das erste, was wir gemacht haben, falls ihr das noch euch erinnert oder ihr nicht da noch nicht wart. Merkst du? Ich kann schon nicht mehr normal sprechen. Das hier war das erste. Und ich hoffe, ihr könnt den Zusammenhang sehen zwischen diesem und diesem und dass das da jetzt nicht in die Serie passt. Es passt überhaupt da nicht rein, weil es komplett anders ist und auch jetzt im Endeffekt komplett anders gemacht wurde. Und deswegen werde ich jetzt eine Pause machen, das hier einfach so lassen. Ich kann immer noch später sagen, ich nehme den Tag und mache irgendwas anderes daraus. Vielleicht fällt mir da auch später noch irgendwas ein dazu oder so, wie ich das anders machen könnte, sodass es dann irgendwie passt. Das kann durchaus möglich sein. Falls das so sein sollte und mir noch was einfällt, mache ich euch einen Reel und poste das auf Instagram. Dann könnt ihr das da angucken. Aber das wird so nichts. So wird das nichts. So, I will take a break now, and I will decide what to do with this thing here later. And if I find a solution which I like, then I will probably post a reel to Instagram about that. Because this is definitely really crazy. I need something in the background, but I think it can never get something like this, like on the other pieces, because it's made differently, because we've cut it out. Jetzt kommt die Frau hier angepupst, die das hier vorgeschlagen hat, dass ich das hier machen soll, live. Hallo Elise, jetzt habe ich deinen Namen doch gesagt. Und bevor die mir später da wieder was erzählt und mir irgendwelche Nachrichten schickt, das hier habe ich schon fertig. Guck, Elise. Guck. Und das da ist schrecklich. Das sehe ich selber. Bitte kein Kommentar. But, do you know what? What can happen here? What can happen here? It can't become worse. So let me try something. Let me try something before I go. Ich möchte eine letzte Sache versuchen. I need food first, yeah? I need food, I need a toilet, I need everything. And some love, please. Give me some love. Someone send me love. Ich möchte eine letzte Sache probieren. I want to try one last thing before I go, or throw this into the trash can. Or both. Weil, guck mal, was ist denn hier eigentlich geschehen vorher? Das da ist unabhängig von dem Rest. Und wir werden das jetzt mal hier versuchen, das anders zu machen. The problem is that this is independent from the background. Oh, you are so cute. You are really cute, thank you. And that is because I have cut it out. So it was basically, of course, my own fault. And thank you for all the hearts. That's so cute. Thank you. And that is hier mein eigenes Verschulden, ne? Dass das hier so passiert ist. Aber was ist denn, wenn wir das so machen? What if we try to include this thing and pretend we had done this on purpose? Oh my goodness, this chat. Thank you so much. Okay, more water. And now probably this paint will get stained, but perhaps that is just what it needs. Oh my goodness. Okay. This needs a shower now. And I need this thing. jetzt Elise eigentlich in so eine Schockstarre verfallen? Traut die sich jetzt nichts mehr zu sagen? Könnte durchaus möglich sein. Entschuldigung. Don't talk about villainous potion again, please. Just don't. So now I'm trying to reveal the tiniest bit of, no, that is not what I want to say. I'm trying to reveal some of the, you know, this pattern. That was not such a good idea. It was better when it was white there. Die ist noch da. Das heißt, sie hasst mich noch nicht. Gott sei Dank. Nochmal Glück gehabt. Let's make this a little more cloudy. Cloudy ohne A. Okay. So now this should stay like it is. It's here peacock feather-ish, villainous potion, and something with which is a really weird mixture. Where is my heat tool? Yep, Sharon, that is true. And if you could see where these splatters are here in my room, you would say, why the heck is she doing that to herself? Ach du lieber Gott, jetzt wird's spannend. Hallo Enzio. Da kriege ich jetzt beinahe etwas Angst. Das wäre vielleicht auch ganz hilfreich, wenn du hier mit deinem Flammenwerfer daherkommen würdest, weil, also, ich weiß ja nicht, ob du heimlich vorher zugeguckt hast. Falls nicht, dann guck dir das Replay an, dann weißt du, wovon ich rede. Absolute Vollkatastrophe. Aber ich glaube, das wird hier heute noch was. Aber wenn ich das jetzt hier auf ein 17-sekündiges Reel hätte zusammenschneiden müssen, dann wäre ich in, wie mein Opa jetzt sagen würde, Schwulitäten gekommen. Was genau eine Schwulität ist, das kann ich euch auch nicht sagen. Ich kann nur sagen, dass er das jetzt genau das jetzt gesagt hätte. So. Und jetzt kann man hier doch wohl mit zufrieden sein, oder? Und wenn man das jetzt noch ganz intelligent macht, nämlich so, dann sehen wir noch mehr von dem Hintergrund. I'm really interested. I mean, I really like this, but where is my butterfly? Did this help to make this work? But would now the butterfly work as well? I want to know that. No. Well, probably. And this one we had in the beginning. Nope. Oh, no. Oh, no. But I really like the staining of the paint here, of the acrylic paint here and here and here. That gives it somehow, a little bit of these original colors back. I mean, instead of the birds, I mean, I really like this, and I can see that some of you like that as well. Ja, nee, Elise, oh my goodness. Nein, Elise, ich mache nicht durch. Ich kann hier noch maximal 15 Minuten sein, dann bin ich weg, ob ihr wollt oder nicht. Weil muss ich weg. Du weißt wohin. Und da musst du ja auch schließlich hin. I like the birds better. Yeah. This now looks like a white butterfly with bird poo on it, doesn't it? But it has something. Too much white, Linda, ja. Der braucht nur etwas mehr Farbe. Weißt du, als letztes hier kommen, die ganze Katastrophe nicht mitkriegen und dann behaupten, hier einfach mal sagen zu können, hier, der braucht mehr Farbe. Hör mir auf mit mehr Farbe, ey. Ich habe einen Farbtrauma. Ich habe echt einen Farbtrauma. And you know what? We are going to use those black birds. The birds without the wreath, that is not possible anymore, Sandy, because it's already glued down. Yeah, we are going to use these birds. And then I really need to go because in 16 minutes I want to go to TikTok and watch Daniel Evans live. So if you want to chat with me there or listen to his music as well, then you could go to TikTok and join us there. Hopefully I will not fall asleep. Paulina, are you still there? Please wish for some upbeat songs, okay? Someone can already please message him that he needs to take out the upbeat songs today. Otherwise, could happen that I will fall asleep. Okay, and now zeig mal deine Hände. Yeah, Karen, you can, you are welcome to stalk me there. Lena, is he somewhere else? Unfortunately, he is not somewhere else anymore. In my other videos, when I talked about his live streams, I said that he is live on Instagram and TikTok. That is not true anymore because of copyright issues on Instagram. Instagram is really, really weird. When he was live there in the past, he had the problem that the live was disconnected because of copyright things. I absolutely can't understand that because I mean he sings his own versions of the songs, but that was such a difficult thing, and Instagram told him that his account could get deleted completely, and that is why he is only doing the lives on TikTok anymore. But it's not so hard to make a TikTok account. I mean, you can just set it up, and his handle is the same like on Instagram. I think this is it. I need to leave it as it is, otherwise my brain will explode in a few seconds, I think. Ja, mal ehrlich, dafür gibt es kein Copyright. Das kann gutes Digitalpapier werden. Was kann gutes Digitalpapier werden, Maike? No brain splatter, please. Yeah, that would be good. Ah, you want my hands as digital paper? Ach, meine Hände. Okay. Ja, jetzt habe ich das auch verstanden. Entschuldige bitte, Maike, mein Gehirn ist echt Matsche, aber volle Matsche. Soll ich euch hier so ein Freebie machen oder was? Also ich glaube, da komme ich mir ein bisschen komisch bei vor. Ich meine, ich könnte die irgendwie abhacken und dann versteigern. Aber dann gibt es keine Videos mehr. Ihr Lieben, das war's für heute. Das hier ist definitiv nicht mein Favorite. Das hier ist wesentlich geiler geworden und wir wissen auch warum. Und das nächste Mal, wenn wir hier sowas machen, dann machen wir das anders, nämlich so, wie wir das hier gemacht haben. Ganz einfach. Weil wir wissen ja jetzt, wie das geht. Ich hoffe, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Tschüssikowski, ne? So, I need to go now. And this is definitely not a masterpiece. And I don't like it so much. But that is also something you can learn from. We know how to make it better. We see that here. And we have definitely learned something for our next thing. And that is good. So thank you very, very much for watching. And see you the next time. Bye. How do I leave this now?